Hello and welcome to Life of a Puppy. My name is Andrea and I am the owner of Matkovich Family Pups, where we breed golden retrievers, golden doodles, and Labradoodles. So last week we were talking about how to determine what is the right dog breed for you and your family. And we went through an entire list of things to consider, both of your family and your family dynamics, as well as the characters and traits that you would like to have in your dog. And once all of those things are kind of hashed out and you've got a good list and they are prioritized, the characters and traits are prioritized, now it's time to start looking at dog breeds and what they have to offer. So where do you begin? There are over 100 designer breeds and over 300 purebred breeds. So there's a lot of places that you can get information, and of course the internet is a great resource, but as everybody knows, anybody can put anything out on the internet. So one of the best overall sources to go to is akc.org for purebreds. So you can search purebreds on akc.org and it will come up with a quick sheet of character traits, and they're rated. So you'll have grooming, where does it fall on the line from low to high as far as grooming. So it's going to give you a very quick snapshot about that breed, of some of the basic character traits that most people are looking for. So the other place that you can go to get quick information if you have an idea what breeds you're looking for is the library. If you go to the kids section, all of the dog books are in one section, and you can literally just sit there and flip through the books and read them. Kids books are typically about 24 to 30 pages, and they have the very basic information, and it's written towards kids, so they're super easy to read, and you can rule out, or you can put aside a list of dogs that you're interested in by going through those books. However, there is not a book written on every single breed at the library. So if you're getting into some of those more interesting breeds like a Plot Hound or a Blue Heeler, or some of those more uncommon dogs, you are not going to find books at the library on those breeds. You are going to have to do online research. So when you're doing your online research, the places that you want to go that are going to be the most trusted places are breed sites. So most breeds are going to have a organization that is the expert, for lack of a better term, on that breed. So the Golden Retrievers have the Golden Retriever Club of America. So there's going to be clubs for every purebred dog, because that's where you're going to find the standard that they are judged by when they go into the show ring. And all purebred dogs have that purebred standard. So most families are looking for some of the more common breeds, and so you're going to find that information much more readily available. But also on the internet, you're going to find a lot of information from a lot of people just giving their opinions. So be sure to be careful about the information that you are ingesting. That being said, once you know what you want your dog for, you're going to know how much information you need to know. So if you are interested in getting into show dogs, number one, you need a purebred. Number two, you're going to want to know that the dog that you're purchasing is in breed standard. So you do have to know what that breed standard is. And that breed standard is going to include coloring, it'll include height and weight, it'll include coat types. There are things that if it's let's say it's a golden retriever and it's white, that's not recognized in the show ring. So that's outside of the breed standard. So when you're talking about showing and breed standard, you're talking about what they consider to be the range of perfect dog within that breed. And within those breeds, there's always going to be some things that fall outside of the standard, right? Because you're going to have a runt and you're going to have a big fatty in the litter. Not every dog in the litter is going to be that perfect breed standard. So if you want to show, be sure that when you are choosing your puppy, and we'll talk about this more when we talk about selecting a puppy, you need to know what the breed standard is so that you can choose within that breed standard. You want to look at the parents and make sure they're in the breed standard. Okay, so now let's say you want a guard, you want to show your dog, but you want them to have more of that guard dog characteristic. You want them to be loyal, and you want them to be a large breed. Okay, so you come up with a list that you're interested in, and you have the German Shepherd, the Rottweiler, and the Bull Mastiff. So we've narrowed it down to 3 dogs. And within those 3 dogs, any of them would be fine, but you would really prefer the Bull Mastiff. All right, so the Bull Mastiff is your preferred breed, and now you're going to really start digging in and doing research on those 3 specific breeds. One of the things that is real important, and I see this a lot, and I think I mentioned this in the first video, is that a lot of times all family members are not on board with the decision that one person is making. Years ago, I had a friend who he loved Rottweilers, and his wife was terrified of them, and he didn't care, so he went out and he got a Rottweiler, and it was a cute puppy and all of that. But when it hit 6 months old and 120 pounds, the wife was terrified, and so it basically it had to live out in the garage. And at some point he decided that this wasn't good for the dog, and so I ended up taking the dog, and my sister and brother-in-law and took it to them. They loved it and we're glad to have him. But the reason I tell that story is because it never ends up to be a good situation for the dog when all parties in the family are not on board. No matter what anybody says, every person in the family has to be comfortable with the dog of your choice. So hopefully that is not going to be an issue with your family. Sometimes, kids, it's a little bit different, but especially with a spouse or significant other, or even parents who come to visit, considering whether your parents are able to handle the personality or character of the dog. I worry about when my parents come over, I put my dogs away, and they're great dogs. They're golden retrievers and golden doodles, but I worry that they're going to knock them over because they're large dogs, and at my parents' age, they're not old by any means, but when we get to a certain age and we break a bone, it's hard to come back from that. And so as I consider what happens in my home and the dogs that I have in my home, I need to think about the people that spend a lot of time in my home. Do they have allergies? Are there any concerns? If your parents are going to be coming over to let them out, is that dog going to be too big for them to handle? Or is it going to be well enough trained that they can do it? Are they going to be scared by that dog? Whatever the case may be, please be sure that you are considering all the people who are going to be a part of this dog's life, because that is how that dog is going to have the best life possible with your family. So that being said, we have now narrowed down our list. So congratulations, you and your family have decided on the 3 best dog breeds for you, or the ones that you are most interested in. Now it's really time for you to do your due diligence and dig in and determine, if when you get into those nitty-gritty details, which one of those dogs would be the first choice, second choice, and third choice. And next step is going to be now to find a breeder. And we are going to talk about that next time. We are not only going to talk about breeders though, we are also going to talk about shelters and rescues. So one of the things that is a very hot topic in the breeding world, whether you are buying from a breeder or you are a breeder, is the fact that there are so many dogs in shelters and in rescues, and that is definitely something to consider. And we will talk about all those dynamics next Monday about breeder versus shelter, as well as how to find a good breeder if that is the route that you are going to take. What are the questions that you should be asking your breeder, whether it's a purebred or a designer dog? There are questions that you should be asking. We will also talk about what kinds of responses you should be able to expect back. Not in specific detail, but basically in attitude and general principle, to determine whether that breeder is going to be a good fit for what you are looking for. So, if you like this content and you would like to hear more, please make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification button so that you do not miss a single video posted. We do post shorts regarding with our puppies in them every single day, and we have a Wednesday night breed spotlight, as well as a Friday what's going on at Matkovich Family Pups. So join us, subscribe to us, become a member of our family. We are so excited that you're here and wanting to learn more about dogs. And I look forward to our next time together. Bye now.